Welcome to episode 8 of Media Nest, podcast where we discuss a film and an album every week. I am joined today by Dillon
Hello.
and Brad.
Click, click, boom.
Oi, coming in with that fire. And obviously, I am Adam. I forget to introduce myself pretty much every episode.
Yeah, it's
but
because
there
no
we
one
go.
needs to know your name.
True,
fine.
true,
Anonymous
true.
and that.
It's fine. Yeah, exactly. You should be known just as anonymous. You stop saying your name.
Bruv,
Honestly.
shush. No one's meant to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the government are watching. They're listening.
Edit point. I am not anonymous. Right, so this week the film recommendation was by Brad, and he wanted to discuss The Dark Knight, as
Yep.
I'm sure everyone's aware of that film by
Yeah.
now. I think
Yeah.
that's the first film that we've all seen as well. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Pretty sure
Yeah.
we've all seen this one before.
Mhm.
And Dylan had the album recommendation this week, and he wanted to talk about White Noise by Paris.
That's it,
But
Paris.
it's
PVRIS,
spelled PVRIS. I don't know why it's spelled PVRIS,
Stylistic
It's
choice.
edgy, innit? You know, it's like an upside down
PVRIS?
A.
bro.
Stylish.
Is it six lack or is it black? That's the question.
Sharp.
Okay, so Brad, if you want to introduce The Dark Knight.
So, The Dark Knight, the second film in that trilogy set, released in 2008, directed, produced, and co-written by Christopher Nolan. It's a superhero film which stars many names such as Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Heath Ledger.
Of course.
Who's that?
Made a total of a billy at the box office.
A
Bill.
Billy .005.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
point the ever-present 0.5. Do you know that this film was only actually set to make 997 million?
Right.
But right, they Warner Bros looked at it and they were like, "Hey, do you know what? We want to touch that billy mark. You know, we want
Wanna
to see
touch
them
that Billy.
numbers."
Mm.
So they
Yeah.
re-released it in 2009 just so they could get to the billy.
That's why.
And that's cheeky.
That's fair enough, to be fair.
I mean,
I'd
to be
do the
fair,
same.
Endgame released 4 times or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's
so-
true. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
in
I
the
mean,
running for like
I s-
18 weeks straight
Yeah.
I
without
swear
anything
they
else
beat the
showing.
number on the first attempt though. They didn't even need to re-release.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't beat it. It was like the 3rd attempt.
I swear they
Although
beat it on
this
the first.
this must have been the first superhero film to make a bill, though. I can't remember any
Yes.
before that.
It was
Mm.
only the
Oh,
fourth
no.
film ever to make $1 billion as well.
Yeah, so
Is
that's
it?
kind of mad.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Cool.
also without adjusted inflation, it's like in the top 100 highest grossing films of all time. So,
Of course.
Of course. Cool.
but I wanted to flip things on their head today,
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
right? I think we should start with the ratings first and work our way backwards.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
All
All right, because Adam's been
Okay.
talking big, right? And I'm not sure if he's about to piss me off or not. So
I mean, not that.
Start with
big.
Adam. Start with Adam.
start with Adam.
Right, you want to start with me? Okay.
Start with ratings first.
So we're
then
basically
work our way
starting
back.
with final thoughts.
Yeah.
Alright. Final first thoughts of The Dark Knight. Okay. So originally, obviously, I've seen this film at least 5 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
even more. You know, it's been a while, but obviously, when you're younger, we saw this in the cinema, and everyone had this as their favorite film, basically.
Mm.
Probably for like 5 years, this was the best film I'd ever seen, and I was like, this film is untouchable, right?
All
And
right.
obviously, the critics agree. Like, this is the 4th highest rated film on IMDb.
That's
4th
mad.
highest rated of all time.
Wow.
Right. So Brad's starting off with ratings, and I feel like I'm about to piss people off because originally I had this as a 5-star film, and I was of the opinion that it was basically a perfect movie.
Okay.
This is not a perfect movie. There are flaws with it that I didn't notice when I was younger. And I feel like there is an element of 1, nostalgia, and 2, Heath Ledger's performance is so legendary. And obviously the tragic events with that. I feel like people are slightly clouded, okay? And I'm bumping it down from a 5-star film to a 4.5-star film.
Okay.
I mean,
do you know what, to be honest,
I
with
wasn't
you,
going to say
4.5
3, right?
Four
I
and a
thought
half
you were
I
going to
can
say
take,
3.
but I swear, if you started coming in with like the 3.5s or
No,
something,
no. Look,
Honestly, I was
cancelled.
right.
Like, I
honestly,
was,
There's too much brilliance to make it any lower, but it's not a perfect film, in my opinion.
okay, fair,
hmm,
fair.
hmm.
Right,
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 Dillon,
right.
I guess, next.
So,
Before Brad loses his shit. He might
I
still.
did, I did the exact opposite. So I really liked this film, but I had only ever seen it once when I was
Right.
younger. So in my mind, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty good." I think I had it rated as like maybe a 4 or
Mm,
something like that, or a
right.
4.5 maybe, because
Okay,
I'd only
that's
watched it
moving
once.
mad.
Yeah,
Brad's
but
face is getting redder and redder by the minute. Right, carry on.
allow me. So I'd only watched it once maybe, and this was
Hmm.
ages ago. So I was pretty young. I think I'm like 3 years younger than you two.
Yeah.
So I was
Mhm.
pretty young as it is. I was like, yeah, this is all right. And I haven't watched it since. And I watched
Hmm.
it today. And me and Danielle watched it. And it just blows my mind. There's so much in it that I didn't notice, obviously, was in the movie. And
Hmm.
obviously, talk about Heath Ledger's performance. I think
Yeah.
he is probably one of the best performances of a villain of all time.
Yeah. I 100%
And
agree.
yeah, and for that I bumped up to a 5.
Okay, right. So you flipped.
I think I've only ever rated maybe 4 or 5 films as a 5 star. I think I've rated about 400 movies, and
Hmm.
this is easily a 5 star for me. I was
Right.
so engrossed the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw it out at you. I had it as a 5 star to begin with, and I've still got it as a 5 star, right?
fair.
And as Dylan was saying, right, throughout the entire runtime, because it's not the shortest of films, right?
How long is it?
2
Do you
hours,
know?
40 minutes.
Yeah,
Shut
Yeah.
up.
right.
Really?
It's a
I did
long
not
film.
feel that time at all.
That flew
Mm.
by.
That exactly, that went way quicker than I thought it did, right?
See, here's the thing. To me, it did feel its runtime specifically just from the beginning. But we'll move on to that. Carry on.
From the
Okay,
beginning. What?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, no, never mind. All right,
fair.
I will
but
explain.
you will explain, right? But for me, the twists and turns, the moral standpoints, the like just the whole build up,
Yeah,
everything about it, the intricacies, I enjoyed it so much. I was so
Hmm.
engrossed. I was like so there with it. And the fact with such a performance with Heath Ledger, it was, oh man, that's monumental. That is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading earlier that it's since the 1970s, he was the first person since the 1970s to win a posthumous Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
So
fair.
yeah, that says enough, really. I mean, it was such an incredible performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do say that Nolan doesn't do bad films, and which is true.
No.
So
What other films did he do?
Well, obviously all the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
The Prestige, Inception, uh what else has he done? Memento, but you haven't seen that yet, but
No.
don't worry about that.
Cool.
Just Dunkirk was his most recent one.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, yeah, he's not made a bad film. But right,
Yeah.
Brad, what you said, okay, obviously you've mentioned Heath Ledger's performance, you've mentioned
mhm,
the intricate plot, you've mentioned like the themes of the film. I
mhm,
100% agree that all of that is
mhm,
exceptional. Okay. My problem
mhm.
is, right,
Going straight to problems. I like it.
yeah,
Hmm.
because I'm trying to defend why I'm bumping it down half a star.
Nah.
Right?
Right.
Let's speak about
My
problems. Go on.
problem is, okay, all of the main actors you listed are incredible. They're top
Right.
tier. Heath Ledger
Mhm.
gives one of the best performances ever.
Yep.
Michael Caine, he's just good in everything, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Christian Bale,
Yeah.
like perfect Batman, right?
Perfect for the role. Yeah, yeah.
My issues lie with everyone outside of that cast. I don't know what it
Whoa.
is, right? I don't know what it is about Nolan specifically as a writer or a director. He cannot direct extras or small non-named characters, right? I'll give you a specific example.
Yep.
All right.
Let's cut to the car chase scene, okay? one of the best action scenes in any movie ever, right?
Yep.
With
Oh,
the
okay.
lorry and
Yeah,
the Batmobile and the bike
fucking
and the RPG.
incredible.
Amazing, right? All like practical effects and
Yeah.
it's just amazing, right? Every single scene cuts to two random cops in the car, and for some reason, one of them is making one-liners every single time you cut to him. So you're like, oh shit, Joker's about to fire an RPG. It cuts to one of the cops, and he's just like, I picked a bad day to do this. And he's like, I didn't sign up for this. That happened like 50 times during the film, and I don't know why it was in there. It
Did
kept
it?
cutting to random people, and they just have like one line of dialogue that was really bad.
Fair. I didn't
Now,
notice that, to be
I will
honest.
say to you one thing is that throughout this film, there was
Yeah.
random personalities that appeared in it
Yeah, but I
for
don't know
these
why they were
tiny
there.
little roles.
Hmm.
And it was, like I say, it was placed throughout the film, like the scene where they had the party at the fundraiser
Yeah.
at Bruce's house.
Mm-hmm.
There was notable celebrities in that crowd as well.
Yeah.
That were just there basically to fill up a face. So I understand what you mean.
But it was a consistent thing. Like all of the scenes, right? My biggest problem with the film was that was pissing me off because I was like, I'm really engrossed. Like you said, you was like absolutely engrossed in the story between Joker and Batman. Like it is an incredible dynamic between them two. That's what makes the film a masterpiece, like what it is, right? But I'm trying to watch the Joker do his shit, and then suddenly you've just got some terrible actor in a cop uniform going, "Oh fucking hell, I just dropped my donuts," and like trying to make these shitty jokes
That's not true.
that weren't funny, right? And then also the beginning of the film up to that party scene that you mentioned, Brad, which is an incredible scene. Like, obviously,
Oh,
anytime
yeah.
Joker is on the screen, I'm 100% with the movie, right?
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah,
I love. All right, we'll talk
brilliant,
about that as
right?
well.
But that was 45 minutes in that scene, okay?
Yeah.
All of the plot leading up to that with Aaron Eckhart, like Two-Face, Harvey Dent, before he becomes Harvey Dent, and
Before it becomes Two-Face.
Rachel Dawes, sorry, before he becomes Two-Face,
Mm.
and the court scene and the supposedly intricate crime drama, right? I just found it so clunky and like
Really?
distracting from what I really wanted to see. Because every time it cut to Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawes in a courtroom where he's just like, I'm gonna put these criminals away. The court scene where someone pulls a gun on him and he pulls the gun off him and like undoes it and then turns to everyone and he's just like says some one liner and everyone starts cheering. That was fucking cheesy.
What?
Oh, I
Still
don't
portray him
think
as the
so.
hero, you know?
Bruv,
I think his
nah,
character's great.
he is great when he becomes Two-Face. At that point on, basically all of my problems with the film, apart from the shitty extras, occur in the first 45 minutes because you have
Okay.
to set up so much plot to get the ball rolling with the Joker that some of those scenes feel really, really out of place and clunky. You may
Oh,
agree,
I don't know
but
if I
that's just
don't
my
think I
opinion.
I
agree.
don't think at all. I think you can follow it quite simply. I don't feel like there's a point where Harvey's being like overly American hero type. Oh
He
yeah, I just
100%
got
is.
this.
No, I'm
Damn.
sorry.
Oh,
He is
I
like
just
that.
saved the whole courtroom.
Bro,
Yeah.
he literally is like that. He literally is. I swear.
Nah, it's more casual than that.
Him and
It
Rachel
was a
Dawes were
lot more.
annoying me. Honestly, I don't know why. They
Damn.
really pissed me off.
I thought that courtroom scene was pretty cool. The fact that he just, to me, it portrayed that he was kind of this like cool, calm, collected, like fucking knows what he's doing, gets his shit done kind of thing. That's what it seemed like to me.
If you want to
Like
kill
there was
someone,
no.
by American.
But I
Exactly.
feel like right. My thing is that is kind of necessary because you do have to show that he is the White Knight of the
Yeah.
Dark Knight film, right? And you have to show a valid reason for why when he turns into Two-Face, he has a very good motivation from that point
Yeah.
on as well, obviously.
They set it up so nicely, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's
But
what
I
you got to love
just
about the film.
think perhaps it's my problem with their performances or the dialogue in those scenes. but I just wasn't feeling it at all. I was like, it felt like it was a different film. It felt like a bad crime film. And then as soon as you cut to Batman or Joker, I'm like, this is fucking incredible.
I see where you're coming from. I
don't.
understand. It's like it's very black and white when it's a Harvey Dent scene and a fucking Bruce Wayne scene. Like,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But that's why it stands out so much, because the whole crux of the film is the dynamic between the Joker, who just wants to watch the world burn and is
Yeah.
just does things because he enjoys doing it.
Did
and
anyone else
Batman.
love the scene where he just starts burning the money?
Oh mate,
Fam.
yeah,
Oh
that
my!
is classic.
I
Every
was just
scene,
like,
every
this
scene
is
with
sick.
him, every scene with the Joker in is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of my issue with the scenes from the beginning that feel
No.
out of place
I'm
to me.
gonna dumb this down for you, right? I think what
Mm.
the problem is actually every scene is an 11 out of 10, and the rest of the scenes are a 10 out of 10. So you're getting confused.
Nah. If that, right, here's my thinking, right? This is what I was thinking on the second
Yeah.
watch, because I agree with both of what you're saying. When I watched it when I was younger, I was
Mm.
just like, perfect movie, no problems. I feel like Nolan gets away with a lot of stuff by incredible acting performances. Because if you take him out of this film, would it still be a perfect movie?
Well,
way.
I mean, yeah. Again, we said at the start of this, right? Nolan doesn't make bad films, so
No, I'm not.
you
I'm not
can't
saying.
necessarily
I'm not
say
saying
that
it's
if you
going to
put
make
someone
it
else
bad.
as the character, that it's going to make it a bad film.
But I'm saying that that performance is so legendary that it kind of gets Nolan out of certain like plot holes or
No,
bad acting performances elsewhere.
no.
That's what I think.
Okay, that's fair enough. So
I'm
your
not
main
saying you two
issue.
need to agree with me at all.
No,
I'm
no.
just saying it was something that
Yeah.
really pissed me off.
No, because you cannot say because someone had an extremely good acting performance that it gets people out of a bad situation when there wasn't one in the first place.
It
I
does
feel
if
like-
the scenes without that acting performance are bad. I feel like some of those
So
scenes
you're
are
saying
bad.
that those scenes are bad?
There
I
are
not
good
just like-
I
scenes.
genuinely think there are like a dozen bad scenes in this, because the film is very fast paced and there's a lot of
Yeah.
editing. So it's like you cut from Batman doing something straight to a different scene. You've got Gordon
Yeah.
somewhere. So there's a lot being thrown at you. And my point is just for the first like hour of the film, it distracted me from all of the amazing scenes by cutting to bad scenes.
Right. Now,
Fair.
here's what I think you're doing. You are nitpicking at nothing.
I'm not nitpicking.
You looked at this 5 out of 5 film and you went, hey, do you know what? I'm going to try and deconstruct it and make it a 4 out of 5.
That's not
what
true
you're
though,
doing,
because if you've got a 5 out of 5 film, right, and it's the 4th highest rated film of all time, then it should be perfect. There should be no flaws with it. It's not
That's
a perfect
true.
film in my opinion. I used
That's
to think
fair.
it was, but I noticed those flaws now. I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
For me, there were a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times in this movie, where I was like, it's a bit, for instance, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was one scene, I think, with like one, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Was it the scene in the courtroom where they arrested 700 people and they had them all in the same courtroom at the same time?
See,
because that was dumb.
It was dumb. There was
There were
maybe
dumb
some scenes. There were some scenes like that.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, does this go along with the kind of aesthetic of the film? Because this film is it's not a superhero film. It's almost like a realistic film, as if superheroes were real.
Yeah. It's
scenes like that. Grounded. Yeah, so scenes like that make it feel a bit more comic booky. I understand. I understand. But to me, it completely glossed over the fact that everything else in this movie was near to perfect. Just glazes over any.
That's kind of my point. Like I would not give it like a 3, because if I enjoy 95% of a film like I enjoyed this, because
it should
I
get
know I'm being quite negative.
Out of 100.
No,
you were starting off with the negatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But like for the first 50
fair.
minutes, I was thinking I don't remember it being like this. I remember every scene being perfect, but all of the
That's fair.
scenes that I was remembering was from like 50 minutes in and onwards, you know?
Okay. So for you, like the reason you're giving it that little tiny minuscule
Yeah,
step down from a 5 to a 4.5 is the fact that there's just certain scenes that kind of just don't click for you.
yeah, it took me out of it.
Okay. That's okay, that's fair enough. For me, so I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but I know for a fact it's not the same with you, Adam. But when I rate a film, I'm not rating it really on things that were bad, things that should have been better. For me, I rate things on how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Because for me, obviously, no film is perfect. I stand by that. There is not a single film out there that is perfect. And
debatable,
obviously,
but
this film is not. No, this film is not perfect, but it can still get a 5 stars with having flaws.
that's
I don't
fair
think a
enough. Yeah.
5-star film can be perfect. There's got to be a part in any film that you don't like or you disagree with. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've
Okay.
given mine a 5, but I understand why you're giving yours a 4.5
Yeah.
because you're rating it on a kind of a more like scale kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there was this that was wrong, so
But
I'll take it down a little bit.
let me
But
just
I
finish.
understand.
Let me just finish with my criticisms because that is
Yeah.
pretty much all I'm going to criticize, right? And
Mm.
what you said is like you base it mainly on enjoyment. I
Yeah.
base it pretty much like 90% on enjoyment, but I
Hmm.
did not enjoy those scenes. That's just why it's a
That's
bit
fair.
less for me.
That
Because
makes sense.
if I enjoyed all of it, then obviously it'd be a 5 star, even
Of
if it
course.
isn't perfect. But those scenes genuinely did annoy me. It did
No,
take me
I
out
hear
of the
that.
movie. So
That's fair. That is
yeah,
fair.
Okay, so how about we move on to what could have been the best scenes of the film
yeah,
then, or the
absolutely.
particular highlights?
Yeah, there were a lot of
Fucking
highlights as
hell.
well.
I
I've
I've
got
got
mean,
my
facts and
negativity
stuff
out of the way, right?
stored.
I've got my negativity gone.
so many
Yeah,
amazing scenes in this film, and
Right.
definitely.
as well,
Let's go through.
let's all just can we just start with say the cinematography of it?
Oh,
Hmm.
Because like I say we've seen some bad films recently with some horrible use of CGI, right?
Do you know what, Brad? All I could think of during this
Hmm.
film was Green Lantern. I was just like, Green Lantern came out 3 years after this film, right? And I was
oh my
watching the action
God.
scenes, and I'm sure we can all agree it is so much better.
That
It's not even
Green Lantern is
comparable.
better than. Oh,
No, fuck off.
no.
But they the studio made a point about because in the first Batman Begins they covered up a lot of because they shot mostly in Chicago,
Mm,
Yeah.
and a lot of work they did in the first film they tried to sort of mold through CGI. The second time around they didn't.
no.
So a lot of the landmarks you see are actually real, and it's a lot more accurate than actually just watching a green screen.
Hmm.
But the use of like sort of more practical effects and also like a
Oh,
lot of the
Oh,
scenes
mate.
that it's just so beautiful to
I love
watch.
it. I love it.
And
yeah.
also like even with
I.
the hospital coming down, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, mate.
it's
Oh, fucking
it's
unbelievable.
yeah, it's just so nice to watch when you're not watching shit.
Mm.
Yeah. No, true.
So
But
you
Brad,
see,
yeah, I'll say that is a Christopher Nolan thing though. He really doesn't like using CGI, and you can just tell the
and it's good.
difference. It's just so fucking good. It's so
It's
refreshing as well.
it's almost like it's just a completely different level. CG, in my opinion, should be used to top up practical effects. So
Exactly. Yeah.
if
100%.
you had that Batmobile completely made, so I'm
Oh,
pretty sure I saw a thing
They built the
where
Batmobile.
they
Yeah,
they
built
they
the
had to.
fucking
Batmobile,
built
but they
it.
made it 3/4 of the size, and all the cars and stuff they made 3/4 of the size. So then when they were
Really?
filming it, they could properly get around the vehicles and over the vehicles to film.
Bro, that's
So
sick.
they built. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this,
Mm,
but they built like this: the tunnel, the bridge, and
yeah.
all the cars and the lorries and the vans in
Mad.
like in 3/4 size
Yeah.
and filmed it,
Hmm.
which is unbelievable.
Just another thing I'd
So
like to
much
add about
better.
that car chase is that there was a
Mm,
stuntman that was in this film that actually died in the car chase.
really?
Shut up.
And
Fuck.
the film, as well as being dedicated to Heath Ledger, was also dedicated to him.
Oh,
I did not know
that's a
that.
shame to be fair.
Mm.
But
Rip.
like, I mean, you mentioned about like favorite scenes, Brad.
Yes.
Like, we're talking about practical effects. That car chase scene, especially with the lorry at the end,
Oh
where
my god.
you can always tell if something's real or not. And the lorry flipping up on its end and just
That
fucking crashing on
lorry
the ground.
was
It looks incredible.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so with that scene, he does the thing where he pulls he goes
The
backwards,
wire,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then everything just goes silent apart
Yeah.
from the lorry. And that is the impact of that was just like, you didn't need like a dramatic trumpets and violins building up. It was just silence except for the wire pulling and then the
Yeah.
lorry going over. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that seems sick.
So good.
I mean, we can mention any of the Joker scenes as well, but
Yeah.
they're all just
There
so
is one
fucking
Joker
good.
scene I would like to mention though.
Go on.
So the part where he's getting interrogated, so the Joker's getting interrogated by Batman.
Yeah.
That scene, so I just said with the music, it was good that there was nothing. But in this, so the entire scene, the music slowly building, ever so slightly building. And the part, so he starts getting proper physical and punching him. So Heath Ledger told Christian Bale to just hit him as hard as he could.
Yeah.
So
This
in
is
those
true.
scenes, Batman was genuinely beating the shit out of the Joker,
Yeah.
which is why it looked so real, because he was genuinely just fucking punching him. Just the dedication to those scenes and to the Joker, unbelievable.
Definitely, yeah. What was your favorite scene, Brad?
Me.
I mean, it's hard to pick, but
Yeah,
or a standout.
I wouldn't even know.
pick a couple. We'll talk
I
about a
wouldn't
few.
even know. I mean, like I say, I'd love the scene where he's burning all the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I love any scene
Mm.
where the Joker ends up getting someone killed. Like
I
basically.
mean, that's literally every time he's on screen,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But there's particular things I enjoyed about the film as well, like sort of particular moral stories you try and learn out of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the whole like turning of Harvey Dent into Two-Face, and it's like trying to show that even someone who's like seen as perfect can be molded into something that's bad, and then it's given two sides while now naming in Two-Face. Love that. I love just the whole build up, and like so you sort of realize that the film isn't actually about Batman or Joker.
Yeah, no, true. It kind of changes halfway. That it kind of becomes about Two-Face.
Yeah.
Do you know? In fact, the only I could give one criticism is that there was not more of Two-Face.
I feel like there
That
was
is-
enough to me, but then I didn't like him in the
'cause
first bit. So.
you've introduced Two-Face, and then he's died like 30 minutes later. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be
yeah,
fair,
I kind of get that.
he is one of
'Cause-
Batman's major villains. So you kind of
originally the third film was actually meant to have a full like Two-Face and Joker sort of back and back going on.
Yeah, that would have been so good. I just say, like, watching the Joker in this film, like, obviously it's been a while, and like Joaquin Phoenix is very good in the Joker film, right? But it's not the
don't
same.
think it's close.
The Joker in this
I don't
film
think
is
it's
so
close.
good. That was the one thing in the film that was better than I remembered it. He
Yeah,
is
that
genuinely
is-
incredible. Like, the one thing I love the most, like you talking about like the theme of the film, the thing I love the most is that the Joker is just a man, right?
Yeah.
He's not flying through space, he's not doing anything, but he manages to cause so much chaos. He murders like the chief of police and a mayor and like all of this shit, right? Just from not giving a fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And that I love the whole like relationship between him and Batman is obviously they have like a symbiotic relationship.
They
where
need each other.
They need each other.
Good needs evil.
Yeah, and that is such a shame that Heath Ledger died, because you could see where they were going with it. Like at the end, when
Honestly.
he's saying like, "You'll never be rid of me, Batman," and all of this. Imagine how good that third film would be if Joker
My
was still
God.
in it, mate.
But do we feel like this is the best film in the trilogy?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I feel like
What
I need to
do you
watch the
mean,
other two again.
probably?
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
because my criticism of this film probably do apply to the other ones as well. So, I mean, this film probably is better.
I can't
Probably.
remember seeing the other two, but I did
Yeah.
remember watching this one.
I've seen Batman Begins many times. I've seen that film many times. I've not seen the third one as much.
Batman Begins, is that Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah.
Ra's al
Okay.
Ghul.
I do have a soft spot for that one, because I do really like where they went with his origin story. I just find that interesting. But I do remember the action being nowhere near as good in the other two films than this one.
Yeah.
Like this one, they really hit it.
I
out
think
the
it's
park
one of
for me.
those movies that, so obviously it's like a action adventure kind of movie,
Mm,
but it was so much more than your typical fucking car chase, cop
yeah,
chase kind of movie.
definitely. Yeah.
The action kind of just elevated the movie. It wasn't the
Mm,
main focal point of the movie. One thing that action movies, well, one reason why I don't watch action movies that often is because they're boring.
yeah.
You always know what's going to happen. You know that there's going to be a car scene. There's going to be a guy climbing on top of the roof of the car and
Mm,
shooting people. None of that shit happens in here because it's just not realistic.
Mm.
And the fact that they stick to as much realism as they can makes it so much better because it, again, like you said, it's very grounded. You know?
I mean, that's shown with the last like fight scene with the Joker as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
not them flying around like Man of Steel tumbling buildings.
Fucking
He's
hell.
literally just hitting him with a pipe because he's
Yeah.
just a bloke. You know, I
Yeah.
love
He's
that.
just a bloke with some makeup.
Yeah,
That's it.
literally.
So I wanted to also talk about Batman's integrity.
Mm,
Okay.
Because in this film, he was faced with a choice of either saving Rachel or Harvey,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? He chose Rachel, but the Joker gave him the other address to save Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we know he has this love theme with her. And in the end, where he has the Joker, he could kill him, but he doesn't.
Mm.
Mm.
Do we feel like it could have made a more interesting Batman if he turned a darker theme?
No.
No,
I
because
think
that is Batman's character. Like that is if you change that, then that destroys
Yeah.
Batman. You know?
Well, because the thing is, people do die throughout Batman because of Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he never kills. That's like his
He
one
doesn't
thing.
pull the trigger. He doesn't throw him off the
Mm.
building. It's just consequences of their actions, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's why it works though, because the Joker knows he
Yeah.
doesn't want to kill him, so he does everything in his power for him to kill him. Like again, back to the lorry scene where he's standing in the middle and he's like, "Do it! I want you to do it! I want you to do
that
it!"
scene.
While he's coming towards him, because he knows Batman is not going to kill him. That's one of
Yeah.
Batman's weaknesses that he uses to exploit him. And that this is the best portrayal of Batman I think ever. This film,
Ever.
definitely.
Hands down.
I'd say, other than the horrendous DC remakes, I don't think I've seen any other Batman performers other than
The other ones are
so.
campy. So any other
Yeah.
Batman before this was your typical, like, let's go, sidekick. Come on, Robin, let's go and attack this fool kind of
Yes,
thing,
Robin,
you know?
let's go
Yeah,
find these
kinda.
bad guys.
Let's get our bat nips out and our bat credit card and our bat fucking iPhone
Yeah.
7. It's,
Oh.
yeah. This portrayal of Batman, I think, could not be any better purely
No.
because the fact that you've got him to choose either Harvey Dent, the person he thinks could save Gotham,
Yeah.
or his love interest, and he chose the love interest,
Mm.
just shows the fact that he's human.
Well, that
Like,
also
he's a human
shows
being with
he's also
actual feelings.
predictable. Because the
Yeah.
Joker
Exactly.
obviously knew that's the person he would go for. So
But
therefore,
that's
he
just-
forced
Exactly,
him to save Harvey.
Exactly. That's just the genius of the Joker. Again, there was a scene, I don't know if you caught it. I can't remember what scene. It may have been the interrogation, but the Joker drops subtle hints that he knows exactly who Batman is and who is
Yeah.
like the thing is like, oh, what about this woman? You know, you kind of like her. What about Harvey at your party? He said your party.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Stuff like
the
that.
Joker doesn't really want Batman to reveal himself, though.
He doesn't,
Nah.
because he enjoys toying with him.
All he wants, this is why I love him so much, and this is like one of the best villains ever, because his only motivation is to cause chaos, and
Yeah.
you can't predict him, which is why Batman keeps failing in his attempts and people die. Because even the Joker says that he's like, you let 5 people die because you was too busy trying to predict me. And like obviously Alfred says, you can't judge this man because he just wants to watch the world.
Do you know, I do love Alfred's story time
Oh,
stories.
Bro,
Alfred is the true MVP of this trilogy. He really is.
Honestly, I don't think they could have chose better.
No way.
There's not a single person on this earth who could portray Alfred as
No.
perfectly as that.
No.
Literally perfect. Yeah.
Man's a legend in the scene.
I think, yeah, I don't really know what to say really, apart from the fact that Batman's just whole portrayal, Joker's portrayal, are two of the best characters, just individual characters I've seen in media. Just
Mm.
let alone like supervillain movies, just in media in general.
Yeah, I
Perfect
mean, the
portrayals.
Joker is like the ultimate villain.
Yeah,
As you touched on earlier, Dylan, this film doesn't always necessarily feel like a superhero film.
No.
Not at all.
Sometimes it just feels like a crime story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in
Or
essence
just
what
like a big
Batman
action
comics
film.
were. Yeah.
Mm.
So the Batman comics were the detective comics. So he was supposed to just be this mastermind detective guy who's running around being a
Mm.
vigilante, helping the police. It's kind of evolved a bit more than that, but in essence, that's pretty much what it is. He is a fucking world-class detective
Yeah.
who also happens to have loads of money and is the best martial artist in the
Yeah.
world.
Dylan, you just hit that spot on. Can I just say that he is the perfect Batman because he investigates shit. He has all of these gadgets, and it's just like he's
Yeah.
just trying to stop like another man committing evil. Because Batman should not be fighting fucking world destroying
No,
aliens, right?
never.
He should be investigating the mob, and he should be arresting people. You know, that is Batman.
That is Batman.
Yeah.
Batman should not be going out with Green Lantern to defeat fucking Darkseid, you know?
Yeah.
Never. He
Doug.
shouldn't be
Can we
fighting
stop name
Superman.
dropping Green Lantern, please?
It is relevant though because this
It
is a
is.
DC film that came out 3 years after this film.
Yeah.
It's actually mind-boggling how far they fell so quickly.
The fall from grace is
just every
ridiculous.
DC film. I
Yeah.
mean.
But you look at them two films and you cannot believe they're meant to be the same universe.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
I don't even want to think about that anymore.
But also,
yeah.
right, just quickly,
Go on.
music, obviously the soundtrack is incredible for this film.
Yes.
Hans Zimmer and
Hans Zimmer, of course it is.
James Newton Howard,
Where have I
the
heard that from?
man who did the soundtrack for Green Lantern.
Oh my god!
Bro, literally, it's literally the same guy.
Oh,
So he went
no.
from this, working with Hans Zimmer, winning Oscars, fucking 4th highest rated film of all time, to 3 years later doing the soundtrack for Green Lantern. Just let that sink in.
No. I don't want to let that sink in. No.
Can we please just stop with the Green Lantern? I
No.
don't anymore.
Green
Bruv,
Lantern will never
I
die.
didn't put him in that film. That was DC. It's not my fault.
Fuck me. To be fair, I would. Do you know what, actually? For all the mock we give Green Lantern, I would watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But no, back to this film.
Back to a good film.
I would like to say I've been thinking about this for all day now. Like I said in the beginning, I don't rate films 5 stars very often, but this is as close to a perfect film as I can remember at this very moment.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Dylan.
And yeah, to me, like I'm giving it 4.5, but that's not me saying in any way that this is a bad film. Like 9 out of 10 is still an incredible film. I'd watch it again, obviously, but I just feel like there's just a couple of things that I can't get past, and that's just my personal opinion. If someone said to me this is the best film ever made, I won't even argue with them. But to me, it's just got a few flaws.
I just saw about another one in that car chase where he's shooting the van, and then the guy inside the van with Harvey is just like, "Oh no, it's okay. They're gonna need something a lot bigger to get through this." And then he pulls out the fucking bazooka.
And then he pulls out I think that's great.
No, you just proved my point though. That was
I think that's brilliant.
Was so shit. He was so bad.
Nah, that's the execution.
I think that's really good. I think that is genuinely. It's fine to inject a bit of humor.
Here's my theory. They spent so much money on the practical effects and the A-class actors that when it came to casting the extras, they just had to find some people off the street.
Do you guys know how much was spent on the film?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I do. 185 million.
185 million.
Which, I mean, really, if you consider it, they did a good job. Like, that is low for this film.
Well, considering the amount of money they must have just spent on just practical effects.
Exactly, yeah. That's
They
the
must
thing.
have spent at least half of that budget
I mean, they built a
on
real
just
vehicle.
stuff.
They built a real Batmobile.
They built
That's
a tank.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, they built multiples of each one.
Yeah.
It's
You know, there's someone in the world
ridiculous.
that owns one of those right now.
Yeah.
That's the crazy
I
thing.
think I've seen them on that TV show Porn Stars. I'm not gonna lie. Genuinely,
Oh, yeah?
someone
I thought
selling
you
one.
saw my side. Else for a second.
Yeah,
No,
I
you know
as
the
well.
TV, you know that TV show Porn
No,
Stars
I
where
know what
they
you're
they
talking
sell
about
shit.
now.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're
You
talking
saw
about
it on Pornhub.
Yeah. But no,
now.
fucking hell, I thought it would be a lot higher. I mean, it's very high budget,
Yeah.
but I've seen a lot worse produced for a lot more.
Right, Dylan. Final comparison to Green Lantern. This cost £15 million less than Green Lantern.
Fuck off. Right.
That's all that
No,
needs to
I'm
be said.
fuming.
That's all that needs to be
What?
said.
Oh my,
Okay.
oh my
cool.
God.
Right, you completely destroyed my discussion from talking about that. Thank you.
It's relevant though.
Yeah. You have to compare. You have to. If it's in the
Yeah.
same kind of universe, that's like saying
Same company, same universe, same genre, but you've just
If-
got worlds apart.
if we were talking about Endgame, we'd have to bring up Infinity War. That's the
Yeah.
kind of
Just to
same
bring up
comparison.
one last thing before we can move on, but
Yep.
we
Yeah.
haven't talked anything about Morgan Freeman's character.
Oh mate. What's
Right.
there to say?
Lucius.
He's just a legend. I fucking love him.
Just a legend.
Yeah.
You got something to say, Dylan?
I've said a lot.
I thought you was about
he's-
to go. You was like putting your hand up, and I was like,
Oh no, I'm just holding my mic.
Just
up.
so we're clear for anyone that's listening and thinking, why are they talking about seeing each other? It's because we're on a video chat. So
Yeah. But no, I've got nothing to say. Morgan Freeman is just in so many roles, just great.
Yeah.
He just looks like that kind of fatherly figure, who when he's needed, he's there. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, yeah.
yeah. But Adam, how did you feel about the guy's performance when he went into the office and was like, "Oh, I know who Batman
yeah.
is."
Yeah,
was
no,
that
that
another
guy
bad
was
performance
bad.
for you?
No, that guy was genuinely bad, and then Morgan Freeman
Fuck's
just shot him
sake.
down. The line where Morgan Freeman was just like, "So you're telling me you think your boss, who's a billionaire, is a caped vigilante, and you're trying to blackmail him?" And he just looks at him, and he's just like, "Okay."
Ah, yeah, I'll
right."
shut.
No, that was a good scene. That was a good
Say nothing,
scene.
chief. Yeah.
No, but he's another man. He's another man in the film with like quite good morals and principles, and really
Yeah.
tries to set the theme for good people. You know,
He's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
top lad of the year.
he's just a bit of a
Lad of the year.
Right,
Lad
are
of
we
the year.
are we done
But
with
no,
the Dark
I'm-
Knight then?
I'm comfy with my 5 rating, so that's where it stays.
And I
I'm more
stand
than
by
comfy.
my 4.5. So,
That's fine.
You can be cancelled all you like. It's fine.
To me, 4.5 is almost as good.
Yeah.
It's as good as a 5.
you
It's
can't
not.
It's
get
in the same
cancelled.
bracket.
You can't
So-
get cancelled for giving it a 4.5.
Yeah,
Right?
you
It's
can.
got
I'm
Brad,
cancelling
It's
you.
got 9 out of 10 on IMDb. Okay, so I am the majority right now.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Right, so moving on from the Dark Knight, Dylan, if you want to introduce PVRIS, the album, I just
Yes.
I just made a little make a little side note that Dylan said we should listen to the deluxe edition, and me and Brad both listened to the normal one.
Yeah, no, I
So
did
fuck
Okay.
knows what's going on now.
Just to be clear, I have heard the songs on the deluxe version though.
All
so
right.
Yeah. And
My
one of
bad,
them is
my
their
bad.
best song in their entire discography. But it's
Okay,
fine.
well I
you know.
didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
It's fine.
Carry on.
So the original album came out in 2014, I think in
Mm.
November. So a little backstory. So Paris used to be a 5-piece band, and they used to be a metalcore band with like
What?
proper heavy screamo and that. Right, yeah. And they went on Warped Tour.
Metalcore.
Metalcore, yes.
Okay,
They used
alright.
to be
Yeah,
metalcore.
Right, that's
And then
just
they went
changed
on
some
Warped
things.
Tour, and
Hmm.
one of their drummers left,
Mm.
and another guy left as well after that. So now they're a 3-piece, or a 4-piece, but one of them's not recognized for some reason. And now they make
Okay.
electro pop punk.
Yeah,
That's what.
that's
Yeah,
what
so
I was gonna
that's
say.
so that's what. Did you get scared that you listened to the wrong album?
Literally, I was thinking you described the wrong band or something that I
Nah.
listened because I was like, wait, what metalcore? He told me it was a deluxe edition, so I've
I
listened
mean,
to a
the odds
different
of you
band.
coming across
Yeah.
a different band with the same name of album and the same name of
Yeah.
band would be
No, I
It's
listened to
mad.
high, I
Paris.
mean.
I listened to Paris with no upside down V.
Oh,
Shit.
okay, that's where you went
no.
wrong. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait,
But
it
no,
was
so-
jazz. What the fuck?
So yeah, so the singer Lynn Gunn, she
Hmm.
describes their music as a mixture of electro pop punk. She
Yeah.
doesn't really define it as anything. So
Okay, yeah.
that's the kind of vibes we're going for. So
Hmm.
as Adam said, these two donuts didn't listen to the deluxe version. And I did. So we're gonna skip through a couple of songs. So
Do you wanna have first thoughts first? Or?
oh yeah. So Adam, we'll come to you. We'll come to you first. So here I am. I've just said listen to PVRIS.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your first
Can we
thoughts?
stop
What are your
doing
thoughts
this?
on the band?
Right. So I
Yeah,
search
it's
in.
Paris.
I search in Pavaris. Comes up.
Paris.
Stop doing
I
this.
click on it and I'm like, right, this is not the deluxe version. This is the one we want. There we go. 10 songs with Gucci, right?
Yeah.
let's get into this. I press play, and first thing that comes to my head is, why has Dillon got me to listen to another Paramore album?
Damn, really?
Right?
Fair.
This is Paramore 2.0, bro. This is literally, I said to Brad earlier, I was like,
What?
Dillon has a very specific sound that he likes, doesn't he? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. But that was my first thoughts anyway.
Okay, fair. Brad, you've listened to this album, haven't you?
I have previously listened to this album, yes.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts? So have you listened to it
So,
recently or?
I listened to this album when it came out back in 2014. So like in
Yeah.
2014, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed the album in 2014.
Okay.
Right? I used to like really praise it. And I always used to tell people to actually listen to Paris as well. In fact, I've even told
Yeah,
Adam
yeah.
before to listen to Paris.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Listening to it back now,
We'll go.
I have
Yeah.
a completely different opinion.
Oh, hold
Completely.
it there.
Wow.
Hold,
Okay.
hold
Completely
it. Hold
different
those
opinion.
thoughts.
Right?
So yeah.
My opinion has vastly changed from what it was in
Okay.
2014.
Damn. Okay.
And that's, I don't know whether that's because back in 2014 I was happier to listen to less complex music.
Ooh.
But
Fair.
with this, there is issues I found. Do you know actually what it is for me, right? Is I always remembered enjoying this album, right? So I
Yeah.
hate that you've had to have me construct it in a way where I've had to break down every song
I'm sorry.
and figure out what I like about it, because I realized after it's constructed, like taking down every song and
Yeah.
trying to find notes on them, I realized I don't like a lot of these songs.
Ooh.
Right. So that's the
No
thing.
chill.
Brad, I'm in the exact same boat as you.
Really?
exact same- I
Okay,
have
This is going to
such.
end up interesting.
I have such. I mean, not exactly the same boat. I'm in a boat behind you, Brad. So
Right.
I was obsessed with this band. I loved them as much as I loved any other band I've ever listened to.
Hmm.
Right? They are up there for me. I've seen them live multiple times. Live, they're better live than they are an
I
album.
remember you telling me her voice was
Right.
clapped before.
Nah, did I?
I swear you said those words. You was like, "Oh no, live, her voice is clapped."
Really? Oh, well, okay, fair. But no, I used to enjoy this album, and listening back, there are songs I still think are amazing. I really like quite a few of these songs, but there are some of them which are, like you said, kind of. Well, I say some. A lot of them are very simplistic, very what's the word?
Generic.
Like generic, yes. But we'll go through. We'll go through. So what
Let's
song
get
do you
into
guys
it.
have first on your album?
Smoke.
Smoke. Okay. So
Surely
we'll
it
start
should be
with
the same for the first 10 and then it changes. Let's hope
no,
so. Anyway.
because there's 3 songs and they're kind of in there.
All right, you
So
just say the song and we'll move on to it.
so Smoke.
Go on, we'll go through your deluxe edition if you like, and then you can just be like, "Oh yeah, you and I love that song," and then we're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
I'll just chill.
yeah. I just thought it was okay." Yeah.
Nah. So You and I is the first song on the deluxe, but we'll skip that, and then it goes to Empty, which is another song on the deluxe. So we'll skip that. So
Right.
Smoke, first song
Yeah.
on the album. Okay.
Hmm.
We'll start with Adam. What were your thoughts? So this is the first song you're listening to from this band.
Okay, so starting off, right? Straight in, you got the opening drums and some synths in there, you know?
Yeah.
I've mentioned time and time again, I'm a sucker for synths, you know?
Yeah.
At first, as it started, I was like, is this gonna be an electro album? Because if it is, I might be feeling it, you know? And then she started singing, and then the guitaring started coming in.
Yeah.
And as I said before, my immediate thought was that it sounds very similar to Paramore,
Okay.
especially her vocals. It sounded like she was trying to do a bit of a Hayley Williams thing,
Okay.
right? And as Brad sort of alluded to, I
Mm.
found the instrumentals, apart from the interesting electro sounds that I do appreciate, just a bit generic. Like
Yeah.
it's a really simple guitar song with some interesting electro atmospheric shit thrown on top of it. But I
Okay.
did quite enjoy this song. I thought this
Yeah.
song was a pretty good start to the album, and I was hoping for a bit more of that electro vibe.
Yeah. So I'll go next. So I just want to say I completely disagree
Right.
with the fact that you think it sounds like Paramore. Because
It
for
sounds
me,
like Paramore,
Uh,
bro. All of
I'm
our
going
audience
to
listen to
when we
this
get
song
there.
and Paramore.
When we
okay.
get there, there is one song, right, that is a blatant rip-off of Paramore.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of a song that sounds almost like Only Exception?
No.
Okay,
let's
right, fair.
let's get to it. We'll get to it later. But no,
So
to me it sounds exactly like Paramore,
that's
like
fair.
with
Because a lot
electro.
There was not a lot of it I found that was a blatant rip-off of Paramore, but there was one song in it particularly I was like, this is literally Paramore.
Yeah.
that's fair. Because I feel like there are maybe 2 or 3 bands in rock/pop punk that
Mm.
have female fronted, like are female fronted.
Yeah.
So you
That,
got
that could be
the
it.
Pretty Reckless, Paramore, and I can't think. And there was another band with Tay Jardine.
Right.
Maybe no. Okay.
No.
There's a lot
Um.
more bands than you're naming, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot more
But
female
everyone
focused
always
bands, but yeah.
but everyone always compares them to Paramore. But I don't think that's a fair comparison. I feel like this is very different to anything Paramore have ever done.
do you know what I know why it's
Paramore
different?
don't. Why?
It's because all they did was add a few electro synths and that was it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I
Fair.
feel like if you
Okay.
take that electro element out of it, which I do
It's the
like,
exact same.
it is the same.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
Yeah.
I'll go with the song. So this is one of my favorite songs on the album. I love
Right.
this song. I think her voice throughout the album, this song and throughout the album, is really good. I really enjoy her vocals. Adam doesn't agree.
I didn't like her vocals on this song specifically, and
Fair.
a
I
couple
think
of
her,
others, but
yeah. But no, this song for me, I like the bass. I like the slappy bass going on in the back, stuff like that. Yeah. Brad, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I'll follow suit a little bit. To be fair, I thought this was a nice song to begin with. The ending section of the song I thought was quite cool.
yeah, I agree
The
with
guitar
that.
was nice when they actually used it.
Yeah.
Because the songs follow a lot of these songs follow the same similar theme, where they'll do a verse with just a drum beat, and then
Yeah.
they'll bring the guitar in for a little bit of the verse, and then drop the guitar out again. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
That is
you're
one thing I
literally
did.
doing the same thing every song. But
Yeah.
we'll get
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I said they probably could have done with a bit more. There's a few more tracks we're going to be like talking about later that had a bit of cool vocal layering too. I
Yeah.
feel like this track could have used that. There wasn't
Yeah.
really much layering to the vocals, although I did like the vocals.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say about this album in comparison to the Paramore album is that I feel like the vocals were better on the Paramore album that we listened to previously, but I feel
Yeah.
like this song was better musically.
Yeah, that could just be like 7 years later, the recording's better, really, because
Yeah,
obviously, as we said with Paramore, their mixing wasn't great. But
no,
Yeah.
but I feel like the actual like the instruments and the composition of the songs was better. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sorry, Dylan, we're turning this into a Paramore kind of
No, no.
comparison,
Yeah.
but Yeah, I felt like in my head it sort of made logical sense to sort of compare it to what you'd spoken about
Yeah.
previously because it's fairly similar.
Fair.
Yeah, but for me, like the vocals don't hit that hard in a lot of these songs because what's most frustrating to me is that they've got on Spotify they've got an acoustic section where they've got 4
Mm.
songs in there, right? And to this day, I went back and listened to those just in case I hated them as well. I don't hate those, right? In
Right.
Yeah.
fact, I really enjoy those because it's just
Yeah.
her showing off her voice in like a vulnerable manner with some really cool guitaring work going on.
Yeah.
And that's why I dislike this album to some extent because there wasn't enough guitar work and there wasn't enough of her good use of vocals. Because we know
Yeah.
she has good vocals and there is some cool guitar work, but it's not used enough.
Mm. That's one
Yeah.
thing I did say throughout this entire album is that if there was more kind of rocky elements to it, if it was more rocky and less whatever else they're doing, this would have been a great album, in my opinion.
I
To
Right.
some extent,
disagree.
but what my issue
Fair.
is that a
Right,
lot of
guys,
the
we talked
choruses
about
are
this
just
song for
cool,
10
cool,
minutes,
cool,
by the
cool.
way.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like to make a
Okay.
point.
Like,
anyway.
literally.
Right,
We've
so we'll
explained the
move.
entire album in the first song.
Right, move on to St. Patrick, Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts off really striking. So that
Yeah.
again, you start off with those synths and like it's quite a distorted sound at first, which
Mm.
I was a fan of actually. But then again, it starts to get a bit generic. The floaty synths in the background add like quite a good atmosphere to it. I'm not a fan of the guitar in this song at all. I feel
Fair.
like as soon as the guitar comes in and it's just kind of that pop punk
Rob, I swear they
standard
use the same
guitar.
chord throughout the entire song.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like what you said. Also,
Yeah, they do.
it felt like this song. I didn't mind her vocals in the first song. For me, her vocals, it sounded kind of like she was trying too hard on this. It was like, to
Mm.
me, it sounded very forced. And I feel like if she lets the instrumental breathe a bit and kind of doesn't try and reach the pinnacle of singing,
Yeah.
she's actually better. And this one, I found it just like quite grating, to be honest.
Yeah, that's one thing I did say about the song, that her vocals on this song was not as good as some of the other songs.
No,
It's like she was almost like drowned out by some of
Yeah.
the sounds. Brad, what about you, bro?
I thought this song was awful.
Fair.
To be fair,
honest,
this is my second worst. So yeah,
yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely one of my worst songs of the album. And the reason is that the verses are boring. The chorus is
Yeah.
even more boring. And then
Yeah.
for the second verse and the chorus again, they basically copied and pasted the first bit.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
no, that's true.
I mean, literally, there was no redeeming quality about this song for me at all.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there that made me go, "Oh, do you know what? That section was quite nice." It was all quite
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I said it's very poppy and generic. There's nothing
But
nothing special at all.
There was absolutely no instrumentation in here that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
So,
Okay.
turn up and play. It's similar to what we said
Yeah.
about the worst Paramore songs. It
yeah,
was like
Yeah.
they were copying a Paramore song, but they chose the wrong one. It's like, why'd you choose the shit one?
All right. Moving on. We'll start with you, Brad. My House.
My House. Yeah, to be honest, this was a song I used to love listening to.
Yeah.
It's now a song that I didn't enjoy as much,
Yeah.
purely on the basis of that. Well, I'll give you the good bits actually. So
Alright.
I liked so like when I was talking about vocal layering earlier, this song had some good vocal layering.
Yeah.
They used it in the verses quite nicely. It was quite weird in fact as well because she was singing, but then there was sort of like a robotic noise behind her as well, also singing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like two vocals layered.
Yeah.
It's like a bit of a back
But like I say,
and
when I'm talking about layering, usually expect the same sort of the voice, but just at a different pitch. But
Yeah.
what she was using sort of like some electronic effect and making her voice
Yeah.
sort of rotate,
Yeah.
and that was quite cool.
Mm.
Overall, it's just a bit of an average one, really.
Fair.
It's just
Fair.
like I say the same use of chords. The vocals were nothing special, but it wasn't a badly composed track, but it wasn't great to me.
Yeah. Adam?
This song for me was really disappointing because there was half of the song that I really enjoyed. Okay. So I really liked the more housey techno sound, especially at the beginning. It started off and like the like synthy piano layered
Yeah.
over it. And like it didn't sound like a pop punk song at all. And I
Yeah.
was like, just embrace that and stick with it for this song,
Mm.
and I'm gonna be a fan because it was really good. And then as soon as it gets like generic rock and she starts squealing, it was
Oh,
really bad to me.
squealing.
I didn't like her vocals on this at all. Like I did like it on the verses, as Brad was saying, with like the
Yeah,
layering, but the chorus I found really jarring on this. It was like, again, it sounded like she wasn't like relaxed. She wasn't natural. Maybe that is because, as you said, they used to be a metalcore band,
yeah,
and like that kind of makes sense now because it kind of felt like she wanted to be screaming, you know.
yeah.
But I don't think the instrumental warranted that. So yeah,
That's
this
fair.
song, like it weren't the worst to me because there was like sections that I really felt, but I felt like it was disappointing because I was like, it's like two songs stitched together, you know.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Oh, actually, what's
So
annoying me most is that you telling me that they used to be a metalcore band, but surely that means their guitarist must be better than the shit he's playing right
one
Was
of their
the
guitarists
did the
left.
good? All right, I was gonna say, did the good
now.
guitarist leave?
So I think one of their guitarists left,
Right,
and he used to do the screaming as well.
I
Hmm.
see. That does make a
Yeah,
bit more sense then, to be fair.
yeah. But so
Dylan?
for me, um, this is nostalgia speaking, but this is one of my favorite songs of theirs, just in general. I still
Mm,
like it purely because I'm a sucker for just a bit of pop punk, and this is very, very like this is their more rocky song on the album. And
yeah.
although very basic and generic, I like it, and I like her voice on this. Not got much to say with it. Like her voice with the drums, like in the chorus and stuff. I quite like that. But
Fair enough.
yeah, it's one of my favorite songs on this album.
Mhm.
So we'll move on to Holy. We'll go with Adam.
All right. You went to me just as I was like trying to burp, but that's cool. Yeah, this song was the first song on the album that I genuinely liked.
Yeah.
So I was a bit worried after that last song because I was like, there's some elements in there, but there's something not quite
Yeah.
like I'm feeling. This song I really enjoyed. It was more relaxed, and
Yeah.
again they kind of embraced more of those electro elements.
Mm,
So I really like the like piano twangs in there.
yeah.
Yeah, the drum beat was completely electro like made as well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
yeah,
And that actually kind of annoyed me.
really.
Hmm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
see, I really like the bass and the drums on this. I think it added a lot of rhythm to the songs, which kind of was missing in the other one. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
bop, you know. I was
Yeah.
bopping a bit, nodding back and forth, and I really like the chorus in this one as well. The other songs
Yeah.
I didn't really like the chorus, but this one kind of stood out. And also, her vocals gave me a bit of Bjork on this one. Her vocals
So
I
that's
really
that
enjoyed.
is one of her inspirations for
Okay,
this
yeah, that
album.
makes
There's
sense.
a
I
little bit
felt
of
that, yeah.
Bjork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I felt like because her vocals were much calmer and much more natural, and she was kind of letting it breathe a bit, I really liked her
Mm.
vocals on this song where I didn't on the other ones.
Fair. What about you, Brad?
For me, this song just feels like it's going through the motions at this point. I don't.
Ooh.
There's nothing really outstanding about it to me. I like the ending passage of the song, where she was overlaying her vocals, so she was singing one line, but also another line crosses it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Mm.
but other than that, again, there wasn't really anything about this song that made me like want to enjoy it.
Oof.
Um, at this point, I was kind of just like I was listening, I was trying to find the things I liked, and I was like, okay, so vocal performance wasn't bad. The bit at the end with the vocals wasn't bad, but I was listening to the instrumentation again, and I was like, this is still really irritating. It's still not that good. It's still not that creative, and for me, it just wasn't
Really?
really hitting for me.
Fair.
I feel like this was one of the creative ones.
No,
I enjoy this song still.
for me,
Mm.
just because you threw a couple of like electro synths in there, it doesn't always make it work.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
But yeah, for me, I enjoy this song. It's not one of my favorite songs, but it's a song where if I put it on, I'm not gonna skip it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the calmness of it. It's
Mm.
like, well, lyrically, it's quite a funny song as well. It's basically her just atting religious people for being assholes and hiding behind their
Right.
religion. That's quite funny. But
Yeah.
but no, the entire song for me is good. I like the song. I like how it's more electronic-y
Yeah.
compared to some of their other stuff.
Dylan, I
Yeah.
didn't think you was a lyrics guy.
I'm not, but this one was quite easy to listen to. It's slow enough for my slow brain for the cogs to turn, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
All right, so we come up to the title song, White Noise. Brad, we'll start with you this time.
This is probably my favorite track on the album. And
Yeah.
that
Okay.
could, again, like you spoke earlier, could be a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always enjoyed this song. And I don't think I'm not ever going to not enjoy this song. But this song just feels like it has more character to it, especially the
Yeah.
chorus, because a lot of the choruses just feel quite flat and boring. But this one feels like she actually tried for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the verse is really nice. I quite like the bass in this song as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Overall, for me, it was just quite a good track.
Okay. Adam?
I'm surprised you said that after saying that about the last song, to be fair, because for me, I just wrote this as an electro banger. This is like
Yeah.
embracing that electro sound again. And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but
like
I feel like she had a lot more presence in this song.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, as you said about the chorus, I felt like there was a weight behind the chorus this one. And the chorus was actually really good, quite catchy as well. Again,
Yeah.
you're chucking in those piano keys. Like, I think it's important to know that I'm a sucker for chilled electro and
Yeah.
female vocalists over
Yeah,
electro
yeah.
as well. So, like, whenever they chuck those electro synths in there, I'm just feeling it because I'm just a sucker for that sound, you know?
Yeah, see, this
Yeah.
is why I always said to you, you should probably listen to PVRIS.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like the like glitchy sections as well. Like I was really feeling that, and her vocals, they had a bit of like you said before, like a different layer to them, and a bit
Yeah.
of sort of bit of like robot-y electro filter, but it really worked on this song because it was like fitting, you know.
Yeah. So one thing I agree with is that her voice on this song it's very good compared to a lot of the other songs. It's a lot. It feels like cleaner almost. Do you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I'm not a fan of this song and never have been.
Really?
Yeah. Not
See, this
I
is the title track of the
title track, and
album as
I'm
well.
no. It's fine, but I don't
Wow.
really like the slow synthy drums. I don't like the flow of the song. For some reason, don't sit well with me. The song.
That's actually surprising, you know.
It is, because
I thought you
this
would have
is a
loved
lot of
this. I
people.
thought this was like why you recommended this. Like, oh, this is a
No,
banger. Like,
the reason
voice.
I recommended it is because of my house.
Oh,
and
fair enough.
and you and I, which we're not talking about because reasons.
Yeah, my bad.
You and I is one of my favorite songs.
Carry on.
But but no, it's one of the songs that are for me like forgettable for me.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to Fire. Adam.
You just used the word forgettable. All right, I'm gonna throw a couple
Wow.
more words at you. Boring. Paramore. Yeah, no, this song to me is the worst song on the album. You just I don't know why, right?
You've triggered me.
I genuinely hated this song. This song
I'm
was
shaking.
bad, right? Do you know what I've realized as we're discussing this?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of electro. You're
And
a
I'm
fan
a fan
of
of the
pop
Rocky.
punk.
Yeah.
Brad's kind of in the middle, right? And every single time the songs just turn into generic pop punk, I'm just like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Give me some more simps.
That's fair.
This song was the worst for this. This was just Paramore. It was a Paramore song, and they threw in a 20-second electro intro to get me on board, and then they were like, "Fuck off."
So what you're saying is
we're
you
going
got
back to
catfished.
Paramore.
Okay.
I got catfished. I got cucked again.
You got cucked. Okay. That's fair. Brad, what about you, bro?
Yeah, for me, this wasn't the song I was going to highlight as very Paramore, but yeah, this song, I then started to. Do you know, the weird thing about this song is then I started to realize some of the poor lyricism. And I started going through a lot more of the lyrics and realizing that a lot of the songs have the same theme with the same words.
I didn't
with the
catch
same
any
words.
lyricism
With the
whatsoever,
same words, okay? If you go through the album, all right, we're yet to get to a song name, which I also like going to tell you that has this word in there several times. But if you will find the words.
I know what you're talking about.
Fire,
Yeah.
burning up,
Yeah.
ghosts. You'll find those words all over all these songs, right? Not just the songs
There's
that have
a
the names
reason.
of them, right? You'll
Yeah.
find those words all over all of the songs.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair.
Yeah, for me, the repetitive lyrics, it was quite annoying. The guitar had a few more influential sections in this song, but for me was not enough to actually make it a good song. And this song just had a complete lack of rawness to it. It just felt like it was a compressed mess.
Fair. So I'll just address the lyricism thing. So when she was writing the album, she was saying how a lot of the time she didn't a lot of the time she didn't want to say things that were too like, so she wrote this when she was very depressed, but she didn't want to say in her songs every time that she was depressed. So she talks about like ghosts and things haunting her and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that's where she was trying to go with it, where every time she mentions like ghosts and spirits and like setting you free, that's what she's thinking.
There's not a consistent concept. You're just kind of
Yeah.
throwing in the word ghosts in there, you know.
Yeah,
I feel
mean,
that,
I'm just
obviously, yeah.
I'm just giving the context. I kind of agree.
Yeah, for me though, I know they have better lyrics in other songs though, because like the acoustic songs I've mentioned to you guys. There's 4 acoustic songs they have on Spotify. One of them's called Demon Limbs, and if you listen to that, the lyricism in it is on point because it has such a prominent meaning. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. To be fair,
there is a lot of good songs. They have another album that came out 2 years after this, and then they're releasing an album this year.
See, now what interests me is that I remember when that album came out and I listened to it, and I didn't enjoy it as much as this album. So now me revisiting this album,
I reckon
I
the
kind
other
of want
one.
to listen to the second album, see if I dislike it even more or whether I enjoy it more. So
Yeah. I'm gonna re-listen to the second album. But so yeah, personally for me, this song I really like it.
Classic. You don't need to listen to the rest of the album because you already know mine and Dillon's feelings.
There you go. No, I like the pulsy bass. I like the chorus and her voice. Just I like it. I like the twangy guitar, all of that. But that again, this comes down to our tastes, really.
Yeah.
I like generic pop punk.
Yeah, true.
And Adam definitely doesn't. We'll move on to the next song, Eyelids.
Yes.
Adam.
Right, here we go again. Let's see if we disagree. This is my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, I really like this song. My little review of it was just as pleasing to the ears. It's very calm. It's very atmospheric, and like yeah, I literally wrote down because I was writing my thoughts as I was listening. Right, I wrote down good intro. Please don't ruin it. Okay, good. I love the opening melody. She hasn't ruined it. Voice sounds really good on this instrumental. Piano synths once again. And then I got like halfway into the song and they hadn't switched to just that generic pop punk.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, this is a song I can actually take and chew on. Yeah, I really like this. It develops quite nicely as well. As we said before about some of the songs, it could just be verse, chorus, verse, chorus, little electro bit at the end just to keep you entertained. I felt like this song was different. It was more the electro elements elevated the song as opposed to just feeling like they threw them in there,
chucked it in.
I really like this song. I think this was genuinely good.
Brad?
Okay, so this was the point in the album where I wrote down, I hate that I've had to dissect this.
I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry. I've ruined his childhood.
Because I enjoyed the vocal performance.
Yeah.
But other than that, Adam was saying about how he felt this song wasn't very generic. I felt this song was 100% generic.
Shots fired, man down. We got a 2-1-2 in progress.
after the first chorus and they went back to the second verse, I just got bored. I was like, this is just a boring song.
Yeah,
Again, lacked atmosphere, lacked character. It lacked any presence.
Oh my
Which
god.
is kind of strange considering I like the vocal performance, but it wasn't the vocals that had me bored. It was the music.
Jeez.
So I'll just say, Adam, I don't know if you can guess what I'm going to say, but I'm not a fan.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah, for some reason, and I don't know what it was. It's definitely not the singing, but I don't know what it was about the track, but it just grated on me, and I'm not
Jesus.
sure why. It was her voice is so throughout. Again, I've said this 100 times throughout the entire album. For me, her voice is the best part of this album in general. It just adds a lot. But this song, I wanted to skip it, but I didn't because
Oh my god.
I'm not a fan of this, and I only listened to it once, like recently, but I don't know, not a fan, and I'm
Fair
not
enough.
sure why. I'm
Right,
not sure why.
let's see with the next song then.
Where
So,
are we going with this?
moving on to Mirrors, Brad.
By this point, I was like, look, they're just trying to make it a bit edgy by adding some keyboard sounds in there, which was not working for me. I realized my whole thing of this song was a bit like, if you took out the edgy keyboard, it's a pop song, right? And I hated it. It was boring. The chorus was horrible. There was, I didn't even like the keyboard bits, even with the weird, like, funny sounds they threw in there. I was like, no, this is just, it's not really captivating me. So again, another bad song for me.
Right.
Fair. Adam?
I like this song. I'm not even joking. My little like one phrase review was simps galore. I mean,
Simps galore.
This song, they just kept throwing simps at me, and I was just like, I like these simps, you know, I can't help it. I thought the drums were very standard. This drums was so like by the numbers. I was getting sick of the drums, right? But once like the song started developing a bit, and there was a repeated sample, which was kind of like a choir singer that was like distorted into like a sample. I love that. I thought I just really like that thing. I thought her vocals were good again because she wasn't screaming this time. It felt like she was like getting involved. Like what Brad said, right? I've just said the exact opposite. I really like the like minimalist pianos and bells, like fucking throwing at me. I thought it added to the atmosphere. And like you said, it sounds like a pop song with electro. Like, but also I like electro, you know. It was pretty good.
You say things about it sound like a pop song. So some more of her inspirations. So I said Bjork was one of them. So another one of her inspirations was Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
I mean,
and
Taylor Swift, Paramore,
Rihanna. Yeah.
There was no Rihanna.
Genuine.
There was no Rihanna in this. Right,
that's what she says.
It had that Fenty
so for me, I wasn't a fan.
Oh my god.
I'm not even.
No, carry on.
A positive is that her voice is soft but powerful. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like it packs a punch, but it's also very just calming. Yeah, I didn't like the backing track of this at all.
No,
that was part
of it was. I just couldn't get over like the boring synths.
Yeah, I couldn't get over it. I think, do you know what we've learned from this album so far is that Adam is a massive PVRIS fan, and we are not anymore. That's what we've learned so far.
Genuinely, I thought I was gonna be the discerning voice, and you two were gonna be like, "This album's fucking amazing." Like.
No, I'm very indifferent with this song, so we'll move on. Ghost, Adam.
Right, you used the word indifferent.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is the joint second worst song on the album. My one word is bland. This song is so bland. I can't remember it. I literally cannot remember one part of this song. It's just the verses were really boring. The bass was good. The bass actually stood out a bit, which it did quite a lot on these songs actually. I think the bassist is like genuinely pretty good.
He is very good.
The instrumental just doesn't change at all throughout it. It's just like it's just the same thing. And then by like the third chorus, it's just like I'm so done with the song. I'm like, I was just bored, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll go next. I
This
really
is where
like
you're
this
like,
song.
this is my favorite song.
I really like this song.
Oh.
I wrote, this is exactly what I wrote. I said, she really be serving us them vocals. That's what I
No.
said. This song for me, her vocals were really good, I think. I quite like the backing track this time. I liked everything you disliked about the song.
Right, that's becoming apparent. Yeah.
Brad,
Oh, fuck's sake.
Brad, what about you?
Brad loved this song.
I'm
No,
about
Brad.
to read you, right, exactly the words I wrote, okay?
Oh no,
Right,
it's going to be
go on,
offensive.
go on.
A song about ghosts. What a surprise. There's already like 5 songs on this album that reference ghosts. What's the point? This doesn't even have a good vocal performance.
Oh, so Brad is on my side finally.
I
Here
did
we
not
go.
enjoy the
Damn.
song.
No,
And
it
as
wa-
I
it
said,
wasn't
completely
good, Dylan.
forgettable. So
Yeah. It was so I don't remember it. If I heard this song again, I feel like if I turn it off 10 seconds later, it's already left my head.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair enough. I can't really say anything to that. So
Right,
we'll
here
come
we
on
go.
to the last song on the album. So this is the closer. This is what
okay,
we're
what's
leaving this
everyone saying
album
for this
with.
song? Let's hear it.
I want to go last.
Dylan, no, you go
I wanted
first.
you
You
to
go
start.
first.
Yeah.
You
Me go first.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So
why don't you
I
start?
said, I said this is very pop punky,
Yeah.
and I love how the drums slowly layer on the verses, and a voice is really powerful, and I
Oh, yeah.
think it's a
Power.
really strong way to end the album. So, saying that, boys, we'll go with Brad. We'll go with Brad.
Okay. No, in all seriousness, right?
Yeah. This is a serious podcast.
Yeah.
Very
right?
serious.
For me, right, this was exactly the problem I had with Paramore, right? That there was elements of this song that I really enjoyed, and elements of this song that I thought were fucking awful, right? And in its whole entirety of sound, I thought this was basically Paramore, right? Because as you said, it was basically a pop punk song. Okay.
Yeah.
Preach it, sister.
So yeah, for me, right, I actually quite like the verses, right? The verses I
Yeah.
thought were quite good. Okay.
Yeah.
And the part I especially like was there was like a wobbly bass sound in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that had me
was
like
good.
really
That
going.
was
I was loving the wobbly bass.
I said that, yeah.
But the chorus
No.
absolutely kills this song. It's uninspiring.
Kills.
The lyrics are awful.
Massacres.
And
Murders.
it's just not doing it for me. So just like I had issues with the Paramore like songs where
Yeah.
like, verses could have been good, choruses were awful, a bit of it was generic, but a bit of it was really cool because they had this wobbly bass sound. For me,
Yeah.
this is such a 50-50 song.
Bang
I'm
in the
not
middle.
sure I
Okay.
would put it in a playlist, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't skip it if it come on. So that's where I'm at with that song.
That's where. Okay, that's a good. Yeah, Adam.
Okay. Right, so Dylan, you like this song. Brad's 50-50 on this song.
You hate
This
it.
song is trash. This song is the joint worst song on the album. It's not a good closer. As Brad said, it is exactly like Paramore. You keep saying it doesn't sound like Paramore. Put this song on, edit it so there's no electro sounds in there. This is Paramore, but with a worse vocalist. Okay. Her
Fair.
voice on this sounds like she's trying to sound like Hayley Williams, like straight up.
I wouldn't go that far.
To me,
I wouldn't say that at all, but we
and
move.
maybe I'm being harsh to this song because once again I wrote down promising opening. Right? Is this straight up electronic? So literally the first like 30 seconds was no hint of pop punk whatsoever. It was sounding like a straight up electro song, and I was ready for that final punch, you know. And then it became the most bland, nothing, boring pop punk song I've ever heard.
Fair.
It was just the wobbly simps were sick, as Brad said. I did like that. I did know that down. but the rock segments are just so bland. And I said, take a Paramore song, throw in some synths, and that's it. That's
Fair enough.
literally this song.
That's fair.
And I did like
Okay.
there was one tiny bit where there was a breakdown before the final chorus that went straight up electro, and I enjoyed it. The rest of the song was just dead.
Fair enough. So bad way to end the album for you.
Yeah, it was. The last two songs were so bland and boring that I was just like, it left a bit of a sour taste.
That's
in
fair.
them.
Yeah,
Right.
so the last song on the album, Dylan. What's the last song on the album?
The last song on the deluxe album was "You and I," but a stripped version.
Okay, so I heard that song and it's trash. Moving
It's
on.
trash. Yeah. No, genuinely, I didn't like it, but we're not talking about it.
Right, yeah, we didn't listen to the deluxe for some
yeah.
reason. Carry on.
So that's the album. That's it.
Final thoughts?
I'm just gonna give you some final thought. I did not expect Adam to like anything on this album. I don't know why. I know he likes synthy stuff, but I didn't expect him to like any. I just thought he was gonna be the contrarian to anything we said, but
I mean,
no.
it turned out quite the opposite. It ended up just being
Very
we
opposite.
said there was someone that disagreed.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. I am upset that I don't like a lot of this anymore, but I'm also
Yeah, that was part of my problem. I remember enjoying this album an awful lot more.
I feel like you're growing up. Like we spoke about Paramore, we spoke about Paris. You used to be into pop punk and generic shit, and now
I'm into
becoming
metal.
a better person. Okay.
Now I like Slipknot, which is the most generic metal. But anyway,
you heard a Prodigy album, and now you're a fucking Cockney nut job raver.
But no, my closing thoughts is that I'm quite upset that I didn't enjoy it, but I still really the songs I do like, I really like. Really like. And there are other songs that they have, like You and I, for example. That is one of my favorite songs of all time, which is on the deluxe album. You should listen to it one time. But no, they've also got other albums, other singles and stuff like that. But well, Brad, closing thoughts on this album.
Yeah.
Oh, and rating.
Yeah, in comparison to the Paramore album, there were songs on here I actually did like. And even though we was talking about the like sort of vocal performance, the vocal performance was not as good on this album, but I feel like the music made up for it in some sections. And it made for an all-round better tone, especially when they had songs that were quite good musically. So overall, I would say I'm going to go bang down the middle with a 5. And I know I gave this a lot of songs a bad, like a negative. But for me, I sort of justify it with the good songs. I feel like bang down the middle. I feel like this album was 50-50 for me. There was half I did like and half I didn't like. So that's where I'm going.
Adam?
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm sort of in a similar mindset to Brad, but obviously the songs that we liked were different. But as he said, there are very good songs on here that I did enjoy. But I feel like they sound similar to Paramore to me, and also my reaction is quite similar to Paramore because the generic pop punk I really didn't like. Whenever they were slowed down and there was more techno influenced songs, I really liked. So I feel like I enjoyed it more than Paramore, purely because there was those elements in there that I could kind of grab onto. Like every song did have a passage that I was enjoying, whether or not the rest of the song ruined that or not. So I do rate it slightly higher than the Paramore album, but as Brad said, like it's kind of down the middle. It's just a bit too generic, and it doesn't lean one way or the other to me. Like if it was just a pure pop punk album, I'd probably hate it. If it was just pure electro, I'd probably love it. So I'm similar to Brad, but I think it's better than Paramore. So I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Okay.
Out of 10.
I've given my closing thoughts, so I'll leave you guys with my rating. I'm gonna give it a 6. Because for me, the songs I liked, I still really like. The songs I dislike, I don't listen to.
Yeah.
But no, for me, I enjoy their sound in general. I don't listen to a lot of like techno-y stuff. So that's kind of like the only kind of thing I listen to.
Yeah.
Good. a lot worse than I thought it used to.
To be
or
fair, I
I
do
rated it.
appreciate it's different. You don't
Yeah.
often hear like electro pop punk, so I mean,
Never.
even that alone was like keeping me intrigued somewhat. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, definitely listen to a few of their other songs, Adam, because if you like that, then you probably like a lot of their other songs because they're very
Alright.
electro-y now.
You said that about Paramore, and I didn't like the Hayley Williams album, but
That's because you listen to a Hayley Williams album, not a
Didn't listen to
Paramore album. I
Brand New
hate you.
Eyes.
Alright. Before Dylan
Right.
gets mad, okay.
I'm frothing at
So
the mouth.
that's our album and our film discussion. Obviously,
Yes.
a lot of disagreement there. We're about to have a punch up after this.
Yep, I'm gonna go
My
over to Kent now and
question,
punch him.
probably not as controversial, but it's a bit of a
Okay.
two-parter. So my question is, who is your favorite current actor or actress, and who is your least favorite actor or actress?
Oh,
So I can start if you want
damn.
a bit of time
Yes.
to think. But personally, I really like Jake Gyllenhaal. So I feel like when he first started, he was kind of that generic Hollywood pretty boy kind of typecast. But
Yep.
recently, I mean, now I might be biased because he's in Denis Villeneuve's films, but like a lot of the most recent films I've seen are like my favorite. Some of my favorite films, like Prisoners. He's in Nightcrawler. He's really good in, like, even Southpaw. That's a bit generic, but his performance is like ridiculously good. So I think, yeah, he's turned into one of them sort of character actors who really gets himself in the role. Least favorite actor, I mean, there's a lot you can choose
There's a lot.
from. I mean,
There's a lot.
if you're just talking like big Hollywood, Tom Cruise, he's just fucking so boring, and he just
yeah,
can't
but he's
act.
the last Mission
Yeah.
Impossible, though.
I mean, yeah, but then he's just so generic, and obviously the Scientology thing like just pissed me off as well.
Yeah.
But also, this is one that Brad will recognise. Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd. I watched the
For the
second
greatest acting
Ant-Man,
performance ever made.
Right.
I watched the second Ant-Man, and like, all right, maybe I was in a bad
You've
mood
triggered
or
me.
something, but he pissed me off so much in that film. I genuinely wanted to leave. I was going to leave. Everything he said was just pissing me off, and I'm not even sure if, yeah, like, I'm not saying everyone should feel this way, but for some reason I just have a like hatred for Paul Rudd. He just annoys me.
Fair.
Dylan?
I'll go next because I'm gonna cop out, and I'm gonna say, so Paul Rudd, right? I watched Ant-Man 2 as well, and I paid to watch this. I didn't.
Yeah.
I work in a cinema, guys, right?
Yeah.
But
you just
I
wanted
couldn't go to
see
the
Paul
cinema,
Rudd.
so I paid to watch this movie.
Mm.
I paid money that I earned to watch Ant-Man 2, and the entire thing. Oh my god, I'm getting pissed off now. Let me calm down. The entire thing, 100%.
Yes. I thought
He
that was
is-
going to be controversial.
No, he's so infuriating. I don't like him as
Yes.
Ant-Man. Anyway, anytime he's in a movie as Ant-Man, mainly in Ant-Man 2, he's kind of like nonchalant, kind of like, oh
Right.
guys, look, I'm here. I'm Ant-Man.
Infuriating.
Guys, look. He pisses me off. It's a cop out, but that's what I'm choosing because I'm
That's fair
livid
enough.
right now.
Everyone loves him though. That's what pissed me off as well. Everyone loves
I can't. It's because he's one of those Hollywood guys.
Yeah,
That he's
true.
right.
He's a white man
actor-
in Hollywood. That's all you need to say.
An actor or actress I do like
Mm.
is Adam Driver.
Yeah. No, that's a
Adam
good
Driver
shout.
for me is just so obviously talking about Star Wars.
Mm.
The shining light out of any of the last 3 movies has been Kylo Ren or Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Him portraying that character for me has almost saved the entire kind of Star Wars franchise for me personally, because I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I watch pretty much a massive nerd, and that was borderline just making me like Star Wars like unwatchable. But Adam Driver saved it for me. I think his portrayal of Kylo Ren was really good, really
Just
strong.
quick question: have you seen Marriage Story?
No, see, that's the thing.
Watch it, bro. Watch it.
I was gonna suggest that for this. Funny you say that, but I'm not. I've got a different movie.
All
yeah.
right. And what about you, Brad?
See, this is difficult for me because,
Hmm.
again, before this, I don't really watch an awful lot of films.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think there's any actors I've seen that have done like more than 2 or 3 film roles. So it's kind of hard
Hmm.
for me to
Fair.
answer the question.
No, but just even like just looking at who's your like favorite portrayal in a film, you know?
Almost hated.
Fuck
Cat in
knows.
the Hat.
Yeah, to
I
be
mean,
To be fair.
do you know what? Right, I have hated everything I've ever watched of Adam Sandler, so he can go.
but
as the
yeah, I
worst.
mean that's fair, to be
Oh,
fair.
ah.
Although you
Have you
haven't
never
seen
seen
his
Uncut
good
Gems?
films, so
What? Nah.
When he's good,
No.
he's amazing.
yeah,
Okay.
that's. But then that kind of pisses me off more because it's like,
But
why are you doing Jack and Jill when
he
you can
does it on
actually act,
purpose.
bro?
Did you
Yeah,
not
yeah,
hear? Like
no,
he
yeah,
says like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I'm
but
just gonna make another movie
as
to
I've
piss you guys off."
discussed with Mike Myers, just because you're doing it on purpose does not mean you're not a bad actor.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair enough.
Debate.
What-
Okay, yeah, fair.
What about favorite actor then? If you just had to choose,
Yeah,
Uh,
someone who you really enjoy watching. If you see them
I've
in the
always really
movie,
enjoyed Brad Pitt films.
yeah. To be fair, Brad
Okay.
Pitt's pretty.
I've always enjoyed Brad Pitt films. So,
wait,
like
name me
Fight
a couple
Club
Brad.
or
Oh, Fight
World
Club's
War Z.
brilliant.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
again,
World War
Inglorious
Z is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Inglorious, yeah,
Inglorious
he's
Yeah,
great in
Bastards.
Inglourious
he's
Basterds,
actually so good in that. Yeah,
I would just like to say that is one of my only 5-star films. Thank you.
I would just like to say this is the man who gave 2.5 stars to Reservoir Dogs.
Anyway,
carry on. Moving. And
Okay.
the 3 to Green Lantern.
Oh shit!
This
Glorious
guy has no
joke of a
opinion on
human being.
movies. Do not listen to him ever. Okay, well that pretty much sums everything up. So, Dylan, what film do you want to discuss next week then?
So the film we're going to discuss is the 2019 movie directed by Robert Eggers, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson.
Ooh,
It is The Lighthouse.
bro, yes.
Yes,
gassed.
I'm
never heard of it.
buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Can't wait for this.
That could make a very interesting discussion.
Mm.
Oh mate,
I've heard
no,
some
I'm
things.
I'm hyped now. Yeah.
What do you mean some things? What are things?
Just things, innit?
Just things, you know, just them
Things.
things.
Make sure you go into it with an open mind. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson,
Anyway,
the
right.
teen heartthrob.
There we
And
go.
the album I want to discuss next week is Hey Yo. Boo, 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 boo.
No.
Dylan looks very, very confused right now.
I
I want to
I am.
discuss Griselda, What Would Sheen Gun Do? Or WWCD as it's known.
Man
And
like
yeah.
Zelda.
Dylan
you go.
obviously
Like
has
Zelda.
Dylan's obviously never heard of Griselda. Brad's
Nah.
heard this album before.
Oh.
I've heard this album many times.
I'm
and,
going in
We want
just
to share with you, Dylan.
yeah,
Yo.
going in raw here.
Boo, boo, boo. That's all you need
Right.
to know. That's all you
Okay.
need to know.
Just listen out for them ad libs. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, listen
Okay.
out for them ab-libs. Yeah,
Ab-libs,
Ab-libs.
yeah.
Ab-libs. Yeah.
Right. On that note, I will see you next week, guys.
Chill.